Hello, good morning and welcome to another episode on White Details. Another White Detail. This vehicle has come in from North London. It's here for the full week, the full gold package. If this service may be of something you're interested in yourself, contact details can be found in the description of the video down below. Mercedes 190 Cosworth, 10,000 kilometers on the clock. The owner of the vehicle has had the vehicle in their possession for 17 years. It's had a bit of bodywork in his time. It's had a bit of bodywork before their ownership, I believe. And on the whole, actually, it's looking pretty tidy. It's a nice example. It's already had some restoration work on the interior, on the bolsters, some of the fascias, the dash panel. It's had some reconditioning done, so there's areas to avoid, areas to work around. It's an 88 car, so it's as old as I am. It's 30 years old, and it's gonna need some special attention. The full safe wash and decontamination process completed. Pretty clean car. It's been sat outside dusty for some time though. A little bit of dirt pulled off the clay. You can see on the clay bar it's slightly yellow. Surface contamination needs to be lifted before we go into the polishing. Very little tar down the sides. Taking a look over the paintwork then on the boot lid here. There's the normal haze. Years of contact, abrasions. There's a few buffer drills thrown into the mix. There's a lot of marks going on down here. Rub marks. Offside rear door. I'll tell you what, Terry, this camera's heavy. This makes a difference to holding this beast as opposed to the Canon. On the B pillars here, on the offside, there are masking marks and shuts inside the doors. So these have had some paint, and at the time of painting and flattening and prepping the pillars, they've overlapped onto the glass. What we see there are DA pigtails on the actual glass itself. And then slightly higher up here on the top of the glass as well. And the top of the door has been prepped. That's a bit naughty. So far there's nothing too scary. To be honest, I was saying to the owner on drop off, we had a good inspection on the car, that actually once you do the clearing pass, once you remove the majority of this, it's then you're left with the deeper marks which you can pinpoint, you can localize, you can do some more accurate correction. And the inside door, just a haze, pretty easy to fix hopefully. Lower portion matte. So until we get some results with the cutting, we're going to do a time lapse now. Time lapse, I'm going to start onto the bonnet. I think Terry's up on the roof. See you. And then it's time for a cup of tea. Already starting to look forward to seeing this one finished. It's going to be stunning. As with most of the jobs, once you do the clearing pass, you are left with some deeper marks. There's something just below the lens there, but actually on this side I've marked, you can see there's something just running above that smudge there. On the side further up, there's one here in this section that runs. It's just a little bit broken up in there still. I need chasing. What's this one? One left there as well. And this top portion of the bonnet, this ledge, the 3-inch doesn't quite sit, so we're down to the 2-inch in the hybrid. As you can see here, there's a few good marks. That's after 3 hits so far, so we're gonna stop for lunch and then we'll be getting right back to it. Way! happy with the outcome of the bonnet. Well beyond 95% correction. Deeper marks chased out. Now it's just waiting on refinement. What are you laughing at? We're clever the back of the boot lid now. This is responding wonderfully. Sent the owner a message last night, an update to let him know how we're going. And the paint is detailer friendly paint, as daft as that sounds. It likes to be cut and it responds well. You can see I've been halfway. Other half of the lid, polish residue. What I do have left is the very tip, just in there. I want to get the hybrid for that. Terry's on that currently, rather than the 3-inch. Compromise the edges. I'm running down this bottom channel with marks down here as well. Again, a job for the hybrid. Shadows fall.
Somebody's a happy bunny this morning, aren't they? What could that be?
Hey?
Somebody's a happy bunny this morning, aren't they?
Look
at his little cushy face.
Yeah.
Somebody had a good time last night.
Inch between the front bumper and the light, there's buffer trailing, there's haze, abrasions, marring, bug etchings. This isn't going to be accessible with the wiper in place. The little mini wiper's been removed and now it's going to be hybrided. Oh, that's nasty. A lot of defects down here. Sanding marks. Now, although they're not terrible, the wheel bolts on the top, the chrome finish is lacking slightly. Some of the earlier viewers may have seen this before. Cutting has been completed. Now although the bumpers and side skirts are actually a matte finish, it's still taking some doing. 30% of the paint didn't need petal polishing because of that matte down there, but the intricacies, similar to the G-Wagon, not as bad, but there's a lot of tiny, small, intricate spots that just need doing individually. So at this point, the engine bay has been fully further cleansed and dressed. This is done before the refining because of the mess it's made on the wings. This has all been IPA'd now to clear up the mess before we go on to refining. If the engine bay is done after refining, there's the potential of marks and marring on the wings. But before we start the refining process, during the taping process for the cutting, spotted that the handles are plastics, so just sort of a bit weathered and perhaps old wax residue and maybe polish. So again, rather than do these after the refining, what we're going to do is tape up the ceramic paintwork now to clear the handles up, to then not worry about them later on once the paintwork is refined and looking perfect. This is a magic sponge, textured magic sponge with APC, all-purpose cleaner, which hopefully is enough just to lift the residue on the surface. If you let this sponge make contact with the paint, you'll know about it.
Maybe even the way you call my name under certain circumstances. Or perhaps it's that eloquent perfume that you wear.
Scan Grip Eye Match is very useful for engine bays. I forgot to set that on.
When I hear your voice, make me feel warm.
Definitely worth doing that now, although I just spotted a tiny little bit there still, which will localize before now refining. Alright, audio test. Two cameras rigged up here. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro, which is obviously not yet connected to said camera. It's the recent investment along with the new camera. I've got my Canon running alongside. The audio you're listening to now is a standard G7 GH5 Lumix camera without the mic. So this is the in-body microphone you can hear in the RAW format. If I switch over now, this is now the Canon G7X audio. So you'll be able to see the difference between the two cameras. Right now, this is the Rode VideoMic Pro. It's a shotgun mic, so it's directional from one side or behind the camera, which I do a bit, because when I'm showing the car, I'll be behind the camera. See how that goes later, but Rode VideoMic Pro, external microphone, finally purchased one. And it comes along with a dead cat for the wings. Good afternoon, what details? Mercedes 190E Cosworth is complete. This is the first vehicle that's appeared on the vlog with the new camera, the Lumix GH5. It's been a stunning turnaround, it really has. A truly great example of this car. I'd put it up there with maybe the best in the country for this model. Has to be. A lot of the credit is down to the owner. 17 years of ownership of the same vehicle. It's only covered 10,000 kilometers in the 30 years, which is minimal amounts. And then the paintwork that it has received is top notch. It is great paint, which is refreshing to see. Very few blemishes and leftover defects or abrasions or anything to do with the body shop present. So they've done a good job. For the most part for us, the paintwork is now left 99.5% defect free. Not perfect, not quite possible, but 99.5% defect free. Full interior treatments, the wheels have been off, they've been treated both inside and out. The full engine bay treatments. Multi-layer ceramic paint protection courtesy of Gyeon Plus in this instance. And the vehicle leaves in the next couple of days, driving home back to North London. I would have thought it'd be trailered, personally. Credit where credit's due, the vehicle is actually driven still, which is nice to see. Today is Saturday the 19th of May. It's a glorious sunny day, so be sure to check out the after footage in the full sun. And then find us on Instagram for daily insights, updates behind the scenes. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. Hit like if you've enjoyed this video. And we'll see you again very soon. Mercedes collection. It's a fine day.
Bloody hell, Christ. Oh my lord. Man. Wow. Shit. Now that's not really normal, is it? That's unbelievable.
Keep walking.
That's unbelievable, Jim. No, you know what? I can't drive this, man.
You won't want to.
Jim, why didn't you tell me, mate? I want to put it on the trailer.
You want to put it
I can't drive this.
We already said this, didn't we?
Jim, really, I can't drive that. I will feel so guilty to drive this now. This is,
Flies on it.
this is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Dude, seriously.
It's nice, isn't it?
Dude, seriously. What? Nice is a bit of a diluted word, right? I don't think we should be using that word. I think it looks like it's just come out of the factory. It's better than the factory. That's unbelievable. Jim, seriously, mate, this is unbelievable.
We said, didn't we? Was it you said? Right? Is he picking up the trailer or is he driving it?
It's being driven.
Jim,
Yeah.
Jim, what the hell have you done to this? Really, mate? I mean, listen, No, I've got no words. No, really, I've got no words to say. I mean, I can't thank you from the bottom of my heart, both of you, really, for what you've done. I'm not joking. I mean that sincerely because you know the condition it was in. There was marks all over it, the garages, I don't know what they did. I've never in my life, I've had this car nearly 17 years, I've never seen it like this, ever. And it was never even like this when Eddie did the paint. No, it wasn't. No way it wasn't. Absolutely no way at all. I've never seen it like this, ever. Now I know why people come to you, Jim. Now I know, because you know you can watch the videos all day long, and you know you got trickery, stuff going on with videos nowadays. People can do all sorts, can't they? I mean, let's be honest, it's not difficult. But when you see this, it's like you can't see anything, can you?
It's nothing.
No. Oh my God. Unbelievable. That's Jim. I'm just saying that. I really don't know what to say. I'm lost for words. I'm actually lost for words.